Hi, my name is Daniela Font, and I'm sharing my digital storytelling project with you today. The topic is assistive technology. So, what is assistive technology? Assistive technology helps students with disabilities to increase their overall capacity to work, accomplish specific tasks, and participate in activities that otherwise might have been difficult or impossible. Assistive technology includes both devices and services. There are several laws which pertain to assistive technology. For example, Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, also known as IDEA, Assistive Technology Act, the Americans with Disabilities Act, otherwise known as ADA, and Every Student Succeeds Act, ESSA. How is assistive technology used in special education? Students with disabilities can have the opportunity to learn to use technology while they are learning academic subjects and social skills. Assistive technology can provide students with disabilities a level playing field in every area of life. Some examples of assistive technology, low tech would be like a pencil grip or magnified bars. Low tech would be buzzers or MP3 players, switches and buzzers, and high tech would be things like text to speech, touch screen devices, and computerized testing. I wanted to show you all some examples of assistive technology from our past. We have crutches, canes, eyeglasses, prosthetic limbs. And here's another example showing from the past to the future. In the past, the first known self-propelled wheelchair was designed in 1655 by Stephen Farfler. He was a paraplegic watchmaker, and he built himself his own self-propelling chair on three-wheel chassis. And in the future, we can look forward to brain gate technology, which will actually implant a sensor in the cortex of the brain, which will analyze brain signals, where the person can actually just think about moving their wheelchair in order to control it. Some advantages of assistive technology include allowing participation and inclusion, increasing independence, promoting health, and reducing the need for long-term care services, health services, and reliance on caregivers. Some disadvantages are cost, time-consuming training, not always reliable, abuse, such as somebody using assistive technology when they really don't need to, and unnecessary usage. The future of assistive technology includes stair climbing wheelchair, self-driving cars, Google Glass, robotic exoskeletons, artificial intelligence, digital mapping, and braille printers, which there's an image here showing you a printer which actually can make braille. My opinion about assistive technology is that it can be a game changer for people with disabilities. It can allow them access to higher education, career endeavors, and be included as members of the community. I currently work as an advocate for people with developmental disabilities of all ages, and this class that we've been taking together has exposed me to a lot more advanced options related to technology to support this population. In conversations with people like specialists in assistive technology, various therapists, and gathering the opinions of other people with disabilities themselves can help prepare for the beneficial promotion of these tools. My honest critique of assistive technology is that although it could be a game changer for a lot of people with disabilities, and there are laws that support it being considered, I feel that the cost probably makes it prohibitive for many programs to be able to implement, including our local school districts. Although a stair climbing wheelchair sounds really great, we have to remember that insurance companies, school districts, and other funding entities, they're often only willing and able to fund what is justified as medically necessary. So something that sounds cool or convenient, the person prefers it, or even if it can be proved that it's the best fit for the person's quote unquote needs, may not be taken into consideration when there are limited resources. Students, teachers, and others also have to be prepared because sometimes technology doesn't work. So there needs to be a backup plan, and the student needs to know the coping skills to deal with when technology breaks. And finally, a lot of times these tools are handed to us, but then we're not given the training, or the student's not afforded the training necessary to be able to successfully use those tools. Here's my list of references. And then I wanted to provide a reflection on our class. I have learned so much. I came in as, I would say, probably a newbie with technology. Just a few of the things, related to the assignments that I never had heard before: the Powtoon, the whiteboard explainer video, even this assignment, digital storytelling, had never done before. I've grown as a student because I'm so much more aware of tools related to technology now. Before I would just, be able to create a very simple PowerPoint presentation. Now I know how to do animation. I know how to narrate, add images. I mean, it's so much better designed than the simple PowerPoint presentations that I had done in the past. Um, what did I find easy? Building on my PowerPoint presentation skills. I already had some familiarity with that tool. What I found difficult was the blog and the website because I had no prior experience with creating those. Did my work improve? Definitely. When my family and colleagues see the work that I've done, they think I'm a techie now, which is kind of funny. I'm not, but it's just funny that I've grown that much through this course. Um, what will I remember most? I would probably say the e-portfolio, just because, I'm looking to make a slight career change, and that e-portfolio will definitely come in handy. And how do I feel after taking this class? Much better prepared to use technology to teach content to others. I'm much more knowledgeable about topics like cybersecurity than I was in the past. So thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you all about assistive technology, as well as my reflection on this course.